Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing on the topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, we are discussing on another topic that is future creation. And future creation, basically, we are talking about the India account. India account, basically, we are talking about SBI account, Amazon account, and after 2 days, basically, the earthquake is going to come. That topic actually we are discussing. In this, basically, we are discussed about the lava topic. In lava topic, basically, we had talked about many stories. In this, basically, 1 lakh software company story was there. Up to 100 crore child is going to generate. Then basically we saw the story of satellite group told that basically we can change the entire direction of missiles. Actually, this missile was supposed to go that side, but we basically can change the missile direction to the totally different side. So that all topic basically we had discussed. In this basically we had talked about one murder case also. And in the murder case basically one person basically was searching for job. He was not getting the job. So he basically his friend actually done the inquiry, and his friend told that basically Sunil, you have done any murder basically. He that basically assumed that basically that is my person myself. I was searching for job, and I was not getting job. So he basically inquired and told that basically have you done any murder basically of anyone? Then Sunil and I told that no, basically I had done not done. So your case basically murder case is ongoing basically. Due to that basically the HR department basically is telling that basically they actually one person actually told that basically we are going to finish that person Sunil R. Nayar's career. So in finishing career basically they applied this formula basically. That was what murder case formula. For that, basically, they had planned first marriage, then basically that divorce case basically converted into murder case. Then like this, basically many things basically happened. Then basically he was not getting the job. So another person told who can do this basically, who have authority in each and every departments, police departments, court departments. मतलब इंडिया उनके बाप का ही है. So that people only basically can do. So who has done this basically? क्योंकि इंडिया उनके बाप का है. And according to that basically they have used their authority in planning the murder case. So that is also different thing basically. That also basically story we have discussed in very deeply basically. Then basically now basically we are going to talk to one topic that is 1 lakh project, sorry, 1 lakh software company. That same project basically which contains 100 crore child. 100 crore child basically is connecting to 10 crore projects. So from 10 crore projects, the 100 crore child are going to generate. So one of the person told that 1 crore, one project is equal to one person. That you can say yes, basically we can say, and that person group basically that also you can say. Then he told that yes, basically that also we can say. So this project basically which is ongoing, in that basically whatever user story is going to generate from that child or basically from that man or from that boy, that is going to connect to the lava data. 100% it's going to connect it. So is as in that basically while creating this 10 crore project, few child basically connected to these all stories. That is murder case, which was actually not done. Then basically the that person basically poor person basically got AIDS and Nasbandi and his generation was ended and he basically few people told that basically if he will we have basically given AIDS and Nasbandi then also basically he can get the job. So what is the alternative? So they basically given murder case also. So in murder case, basically it's a legally basically in that police, each and every high court, supreme court, all basically supported that rich person. That is a company group basically, and all companies basically are one. Then basically, and all are one. That basically everybody knows. So all are going to all basically are one. One means basically you can understand basically one means what basically. So then basically whatever basically he was basically applying for job that time basically he was not getting the job. Basically. He was applying, 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 applying, job, but not a getting job. Why? Because human resource was telling that basically we can't see your resume basically. Why? Because murder case basically people basically are resume are truncate from the job search bank only. So they filters it basically. So one of the person told this, assume that basically today world is going to end. Assume that basically today world is going to end. Just taking as an example, really basically world is not going to end. So assume that basically today is the perfect day for world end basically. So how, which are all conditions basically which is going to satisfy? So one person told that rich people condition basically. In really basically all rich people basically was not there. That few people rich basically people was there basically who actually charged the murder case on that particular person basically. But really that murder so these all conditions basically are going to satisfy. Because lots of people says that any second anything time any second anything basically can happen. So in this assume that world basically end will end today. So anything is going to happen today. Nothing is going to happen. Lots of people says that lots of people says that there is one story basically, Shirdi Sai Baba. In Shirdi Sai Baba, one Deepak basically is uh, always basically gets on basically. If that Deepak basically that is I think from oil basically that is getting on, if that basically gets off basically, off means it will get off means Deepak will get on off basically. So that time basically the world will end. So that is one story basically created by Nasik group basically. That is Maharashtrian people basically has told that basically if that Deepak will get off basically then world will end. So there are many stories basically. So they are telling that basically there are certain conditions. That means that group basically know lots of condition how basically the world is going to end. Because SAP creator basically is one of the Marathi person basically. And in SAP basically Second World War, First World War data is also there. So that is also different topic. So here basically topic is what, here actually what we are discussing. Here we are discussing that 100 crore project basically, sorry, 100 crore child basically when it's going to happen, that basically generates that is in that basically creation, this data are also taken basically. But basically it's not the magic, it's not magic basically. How basically the lava data basically can contain this data basically, which basically the, for example, one project basically there are basically 10 crore project. In 10 crore project basically one rich person basically, rich person group basically will take entire group. So that group basically told that that person basically is supposed to be end and his career is supposed to be end. So they basically told that basically we will give him AIDS, we will give him Nasbandi, and then basically we will then also basically if he will get the money, then basically what he will do. So they told that basically we will do one thing, we will charge him some murder case into murder case, and if murder case will happen, then basically human resource rules, rule departments, sorry, human resource rules basically that everybody knows. That is murder case people basically can't get a job basically. So in that basically the human resource department told that basically we won, human resource department won the match. Company also did, we also won basically because we have entered into one person basically. That assume that basically that is my person. In really basically I have not done any murder. I don't have AIDS and I don't have any Nasbandi also basically I have not done. So that basically companies go up to this level. And this everything is done assume that. And today assume that basically world is going to end. So what are the things basically going to affect this? Anything is going to affect. So that is one topic. Then basically this topic that is 100 crore child is going to happen. Going to happen, basically not happened basically yet. Going to happen. 1 lakh condition also basically has added by Bill Gates. 1 crore project is also basically created as it. Now basically assume that Bill Gates basically removed Sunil R. Nair data from his dictionary. He told that basically भाई ये तो बेकार हो गया भाई, because इसका जनरेशन ही खत्म कर दिया. His generation basically ended by Indian nationality across the world. Indian nation, because whole world basically Indian nationality are one. Why? because Mumbai is handling the entire Mumbai, India basically. That's why. So he told that entire Indian nationality become one and ended his generation. That is Sunil Nair generation. So when the 100 crore child is going to happen, basically not happen. Power company is going to take the data. So anything is going to happen to universe, to Earth planet, to the Earth planet environment. Anything is going to happen. That actually is the question basically. From this question basically, one of the satellite person basically taken this seriously. They told that basically really basically we need to check here basically. So how basically they are going to check basically whether basically is Sunil Nair basically Nasbandi has done, Sunil Nair basically AIDS has happened, or basically Sunil Nair basically murder case is ongoing in the Supreme Court, High Court. Supreme Court is in Delhi and High Court basically is a entire state, that is basically more than 30 states. So in these states basically they basically want to check basically. So how they are going to check? Is there any murder case basically ongoing of Sunil Nair? So how that group is going to check basically? That is question basically. Because they told that basically we have to take this seriously basically now. So but here basically I am just taking as an example. So here the example is what? 100 crore child is going to happen when basically 100 crore child is going to happen basically had not happened. So basically 100 crore child will happen basically. That is one question. That is one question. And when child will happen, that time basically, is there any effect going to happen to universe? Because without universe activation, the child basically can't get birth. So when they are going to do the activation of this 100 crore child, anything is going to happen. That is another question. Then universe group basically telling that basically they are connected with the satellites to satellites, planets to planets. So when the activation happens, that time basically the planets to planets, everything basically is going to happen. That is also a question basically. But this everything basically is done. So the user story is what? User story is this everything is connecting to the software company, because software company has created this story basically, that is the murder case, and 1 lakh project basically which has 1 lakh company has created 10 crore project, 100 crore child is going to birth. This software company has taken the initiative. Their group basically has taken the initiative, and they have that their group basically has told that basically that Sunil Nair basically has done the murder basically. Bolo. Sunil Nair basically has done the murder. So in this, one of the person told that the cyber group, the legal department, the digital world, basically the group, basically entire group, basically where basically they are from working, basically all basically might be working from home, basically that are the main group basically. So assume that basically that apartment count is around. Uh, just a minute, I will just. I have one calculator basically. From that basically I can calculate it. There are around 1800 apartments in this world basically. They are basically handling the cyber cases. For example, one person basically has done murder, and that person basically is working in IT, in software industry. So that 118 1800 buildings basically, from that area basically they say that basically this person basically has done murder basically. So they basically remove that resume from across the whole world job portal. So one of the person basically asked the question also basically, Sunil, basically I am not able to see your resume. So this was the reason basically. Here basically I'm just taking as an example of myself basically. In really basically there is no murder case basically, no HIV/AIDS, no Nasbandi. I'm just taking as a user story. Because on last day assume that basically today world will end, then basically what is the thing going to happen? which condition is going to satisfy due to world will end, that anybody knows this. That's the basically. So here the question is, assume that basically one of the person told that if world will end start basically, then what are the things basically going to happen first basically? That will be the missile direction will automatically change. The missile was supposed to go this side, it will go that side. The missile was supposed to go this side, it will go this side. So totally ulta basically is going to happen. Missile was going to suppose this side, the missile will go this side. That is going to happen on the world end start days. Like this activity is basically going to happen. Then the army group basically will say that basically, "Yeah, I have basically told that missile basically go this side, but missile went to that side basically." Then how that happened here basically? The whole basically army department basically was shocked basically. How this happened basically? That was also very strange basically. How this happened basically? That was also strange, na, basically. So one of the person told that whenever basically the world ends basically, that time basically this all activity basically happens. That are the magical activity. That is known as a jadoo. Jadui thing happens. That is the jadoo activities. Missile was supposed to go this side. It basically went that side. So this is magic basically which has happened. So pray basically, world basically, this type of magic basically is not supposed to happen. So that will be the world end start basically. That also you can say. So here basically we are not taking basically the world end, because world will not end basically so soon basically, because there are lots of condition basically which, sorry, not condition, lots of tasks basically which is supposed to happen basically. So world will not end so soon basically. So here the condition is 100 crore child is going to happen, and that responsibility of is whom basically? That responsibility is of that responsibility is of software industry. And from that software industry, one of the financer basically, that is the rich person basically, he basically told that basically we want to create one lesson basically. In that lesson basically, lesson is like this: in software industry basically his name is supposed to be remember always, and he basically applies whenever basically he applies to that company, immediately with the alert basically supposed to happen: murder, 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 he's a murderer, he's a murderer, he's a murderer. So like this basically we want to do some lesson basically. So he basically done some plan, and in this human resource, software company, Supreme Court, High Court, because Supreme Court basically anything basically they can do for money. Then basically the High Court, then the police department, they also basically can do anything for money. Then basically the temple group also basically jumped into this. Sri Ram temple and Hanuman temple group also basically involved in this. That person basically has done the murder. That is Sunil Arnack basically. So that group also basically jumped into this, because they also tell them basically we also want money. So they have taken the money and everything is done. And Mandir is where basically? That is in Uttar Pradesh near Himalaya. So the topic is what? Currently ongoing. After 2 days basically the earthquake going to happen in India. That is big earthquake. So you can just imagine basically what are the things basically going to happen. So here the topic is what way. So one of the person told that the software company financer basically, he told that basically create this type of lesson basically. Then that story basically, he was actually one project actually. Project equals to one person, when one person group basically. That one person is what? That is a rich person. So here basically the story was what? That rich person basically connected to one disease, and that disease basically was not able to repair. So the rich person basically, do you know what they have done? They have basically finished that area and then recreated again area, and then the doctor told them basically ho gaya. Then basically that rich person basically told that he also told ho gaya. His disease was basically finished basically. So one of the person told that this everything user story, everything basically why I am discussing, because each and everything basically is going to connect to the lava department. That is the lava bank basically. So one of the person told that lava bank basically first knows her or basically the lava after lava creation basically the bank knows that thing, because there is no bank only does not exist, then basically how the bank will know that. So directly the lava basically gets prepares and the user story basically gets prepared. User story basically gets prepares, lava gets prepares. So one of the person told that like this the lava created, and that lava basically has dumped into the land, and that lava is going to generate 100 crore child. Ideas basically are basically already mapped into that child, already mapped, and then basically the lava basically shifted to water area, that is the what lava converted into water. That water basically was giving the water basically, that was basically the 100 years water basically for the Bangalore city. Bangalore city told that basically we got the 100 years water basically. And how basically they got basically that lava data basically converted into land, and that land basically sent the water into the sea water. Then sea water basically done some process basically, because you have to do process. Each and every water basically comes into the world basically which human drinks, that basically comes from the sea water process only. So the sea water process then basically again is shifted to the Bangalore land. Then basically some certain level of process basically happened. Then basically the water was basically was usable. So you can just imagine basically the process basically. And within this basically the Sunilar Nair generation basically also ended. And the water basically which Bangalore city is going to drink basically, that contains Sunilar Nair generation ended. That water actually they are going to drink. So they will drink water. They will not drink water. If they will drink, then what are the thing going to happen? If the child will happen, what are the thing basically the child is going to generate each and every ideas, each and everything basically going to connect to that particular 100 crore child. This whole process basically how it's going to happen basically. Or basically everything basically will going to happen smoothly. Why? Because in lava data only similar NAT data was not taken. So anything is going to affect basically. So that is actually one good question actually. That is going to affect or not basically. So next video basically we are going to see that basically whether it's going to affect or not going to.